Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome. Let's fill out the pre-survey form. Let's fill out the pre-survey form. Okay. All right, so I think I'm now going to start. Let me see. Okay. Okay, welcome Susani Munai from Kenya. It's good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Saina Muyaka Oneka from Kenya. Martina from Italy. Gift Banda from Malawi. Friday Halawa from Malawi. Matthews. Thank you so much for joining us in this session. We will be looking at psychological well-being, eco-anxiety, and resilience. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Wonderful. Great. So,
how are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining all the way from Ghana. We so much appreciate you coming over. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, so I'm excited actually today that we'll be dealing with this topic, psychological well-being, anxiety, and resilience. After covering quite a number of topics in these live streams, I think there are a number of issues that we've looked at, and in the process we've learned quite a lot. If I may try to go through the topics, we've done climate change, where we are looking at the causes, effects, and global inequalities. We looked at climate migration, when the climate actually forces people to move. We also looked at human security beyond military security, climate conflict and cooperation, international policies on climate and migration. We also looked at internal and urban migration, the new climate nomad. We did climate justice and social inequalities. We've done case studies on the Mediterranean as the climate and migration crossroads. We also looked at the voices of young migrants and refugees from various parts of the world. And recently, we also looked at communication climate, where we are countering misinformation and toxic narratives. We also did environmental education and global citizenship. Okay, quite interesting. And we went all the way to participatory methods for addressing complex issues. And recently, just yesterday, we were looking at empowering youth for climate action. Today, we are looking at psychological well-being, eco-anxiety, and resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very important topic because it's one of those topics that do not really get out there, or is something that we don't really discuss in as far as climate change is concerned. And today, I want us to work on this topic. Please feel free to share your thoughts and ensure that you are comfortable with what you are sharing, because sometimes this can be a bit emotional and sometimes people might not necessarily be in a comfort way to try and share their thoughts about this. So I would like to take you through the learning objectives of this session. So first of all, we shall go through just hold on. Okay. I shall be taking you through the learning objectives of this session, whereby we would like to see what we're going to achieve by the end of this session. So first of all, we want that by the end of this session, you are able to understand what eco-anxiety is and what it is becoming common, and I mean why it is becoming common amongst young people. Also, we shall be looking at recognizing how climate stress affects young people emotionally, socially, and psychologically. We'll also look at the learning practical tools, which will try and build resilience and protect our mental well-being. And finally, we shall be looking at understanding how caring for one's mental health actually strengthens one's role as a climate actor. Like I said before, please, this session is not about diagnosing problems. It's about understanding, coping, and growing. So welcome, and let's proceed. So first of all, I want to draw you to the attention to say, what is eco-anxiety? Anyone who would like to share anything? Or when you hear about eco-anxiety, what comes on your mind? Anyone?
Hello.
Yes.
Well, things are changing, climate is changing. It comes with, productivity issues, migration, difficult life conditions. People are, having more difficulties to make, their living. For example, heat waves in some countries make it more difficult for people to go outside and enjoy the life. So all these kinds of things create stress and problems. It's sometimes it comes with economic problems. Sometimes it directly comes with disasters, which causes the loss of loved ones. It's everywhere, but sometimes we don't recognize it. We don't recognize the connection to climate change and humans spoiling of ecosystem. I think we lost Fernasio.
Yes, I think it has kicked him out.
internet, my network, and I'm just back with the electricity is back. So sorry for that. Let's continue from. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we see you. No problem.
Okay, great.
Hello, sorry.
Hello.
Okay, and my slides
Hello.
you can.
Yes, we see
Yeah,
your slide.
Venancio, can you check if the recording, if you are recording because it had stopped?
Yeah, sure. I'll right away. Okay. So, okay. Let me just connect to the live stream. Okay. Just checking if we are still live streaming.
Yes, we are. Yeah, it's indicating that we're live.
Okay, good. All right. Sorry, Sitki, you were explaining something, so I guess you've already gone through that, and I shall just continue from what I have on my end. So, yeah, we are looking at what eco-anxiety or what eco-anxiety is all about. In fact, eco-anxiety is a term that is used to describe fear, worry, or distress about the future of the planet, due to climate change issues. It's a big issue amongst most of the areas that those areas that have already started experiencing the impacts of climate change. And it is actually very important to say it clearly here, to say eco-anxiety, in fact, is not a sickness. If you feel it, it's not a sickness, but it is a natural emotional response to the real global crisis. Those of you that have experienced some sort of climate-related impacts, you might agree with me to say there is that fear in you, there is that worry, okay, distress about how life is going to be like. And when you feel worried about, for example, droughts, floods, or food insecurity, or maybe the future of your siblings, your family, that's what we call eco-anxiety. And many young people at the moment are feeling this because they are quite aware of it. Some of them are quite aware of it. Maybe they are informed about it, or they care so much deeply about this. Okay, and when you feel this eco-anxiety, does not necessarily mean that you are weak. In essence, it doesn't mean that you are weak. It simply means you are a human, okay? You are a human and you feel that gap that's gonna be created if you shall be passing through difficulties like these, okay? So let's slowly look at the symptoms of eco-anxiety. Ladies and gentlemen, eco-anxiety can show itself in different ways. Some people feel constant worry or fear about what the future holds, just like I put it. Others feel guilty to say, they try and ask themselves, am I really doing enough? Am I doing enough to make sure that the future is good for me, for my family, for my friends? Some even experience hopelessness, experience stress, or even emotional exhaustion, emotional tiredness. Sometimes others just think too much, maybe after listening to news online, especially news related to climate issues, disasters, or other environmental losses that occur day in, day out. And for some, the worry is about how is tomorrow going to be like. If let's say you recognize yourself in any of these angles, trust me, you are not alone. And you are not failing. I've been to the southern part of Malawi, where floods are an issue of every year. Especially there's one traditional authority there known as Nyachikaza. Nyachikaza is one of the areas that produces a lot of food, but it is also the area that completely gets submerged with water from Shire River. And people have to live there knowing that anytime soon, floods are going to come and we have to get out of this place. To an extent that people go and live in this place only during the dry season. And as we get towards the rainy season, they have to move upwards. And this has created a lot of problems. People thinking about how it's going to be like. People lose a lot of property and other related stuff. You can imagine what these people feel each and every year, knowing that floods are going to come. And it's not just about Malawi in this context. There are other places. We heard from the session where, especially that session that was looking at the case study on the Mediterranean, how people are suffering passing through that sea, and how much climate-related issues are forcing people to move out of their homes into other places seeking for refugee. It's sometimes so disheartening when you try to think about it, when you try to look at it. Jess, are you here?
Yes, I'm present.
What can you say about climate stress affecting the youth? Maybe we can learn from you as well.
All right. When it comes to the effects of climate stress on the youth, I think we have to look at it in a way that climate change does not just affect the environment, but it affects lives, you know. So it brings about loss of livelihoods, just as Vanessa was saying. We see as young people, we get to be stressed because we see our parents, we see how they struggle to bring about food on the table to provide for us, and then suddenly we have whether it's floods and then they wash away all that livelihood. It could be the farmland, it could be their shops, and then that brings about stress because we get to understand the stress that our parents are going through as young people, and there is a part in us that wants us to even support them, but it's very hard to do that because there's nothing we can do about it. And when it comes to disbursement fears, I think there was a time when it rains, you'd get excited that I'm going to have a good sleep at night. But right now, the narrative has changed. Once it rains at night, you're always scared that to say, for myself mainly, I'm always scared to say, what if it floods? What if it floods our house? What if maybe we get washed away? What if our neighbors? So at the moment, it's very stressful to experience these climate issues because we see how farmers are struggling just to get certified crops, to get fertilizer, and now they're doing their farming and then it all gets washed away. It means they have to start from scratch once again to do their farming. They have to start from scratch. And the problem is that they do not have even enough money to get the seeds anymore, to get the fertilizer that they use. Maybe it could be droughts that maybe the crops have burned up, you see. So it's very hard. It's something that we are all experiencing. We are all seeing it. It's happening in our countries. And also for those people, for instance, who experienced second trade, I think it was very disheartening to see how you see losing a family member to water just like that, your home being washed away. Some were even buried underground with debris and all, and trying to find them. It's something that you witness and it changes you as a human being. It messes up with your mental health. And growing up, you always have these fears now at the end of the day, you know. And the other thing is the pressure to provide. I think growing up, we get to see, we witness our parents getting old. And as a young person, you want to stand up for yourself. You want to, you know, support your parents. But we do not even have the stable opportunities for job opportunities to provide for our parents, to help in a way that at least it will give us good grounds to go on, you see. So this emotional weight, often it goes unspoken. I don't think we have many rooms whereby we meet and just try to share how hard it is when we see that maybe it's rainy season, or when we hear about these disasters happening in our countries, you see. So in Malawi, we see it happening clearly. I think most of the people in Malawi, they're able to experience these things. They see it, they hear it. And droughts, they affect the food security of the country. We have floods that displaces families. You have to move all the way to a new place. You see, so this reality, it creates the anxiety and the frustration that sometimes we really feel helpless, and it's very hard to go about our lives each and every day. And understanding this really does help us to respond with compassion, and we cannot judge, you know, but really have to show up for one another and to do support. So I believe even in this group, in this meeting, we have people that also have silent fears when it comes to maybe rainy season, when it comes to climate issues that we're facing in our countries. I think in the chat, we can try to share the issues that we carry unspoken, but we know that it's real fear. It's something that we have seen and we can share with the group. Thank you, Venasio.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jesse, for that. You just put up, you know, when you were speaking, I was able to relate to certain issues that I've personally experienced. You know, in 2009, in the northern part of Malawi, we had an earthquake. We had never experienced an earthquake before, and you could literally see how helpless everyone was during that moment, because this earthquake was quite recurring, and every time it came, we tried to run away, but I think it was meaningless, because everywhere or anywhere you were running to, it was the same thing. Now, I'm just trying to relate this to those people who at the moment are in fear of, say, what's gonna come now. We had floods, we had too much increase in temperatures. Our land can no longer provide us with food. We have to move. How does it end with us? You see, all this, if I can imagine it from my personal perspective, I think it might be also very challenging for others as well as human beings. Matthews, do you want to add a bit of a context related to the same issues here in Malawi? Matthews, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's true. These issues in Malawi, they're just a reality of what many young people or many people experience each and every day. And in the context of the disasters, it has really been putting people under stress, not in just in areas where things have happened, but also because in Malawi, it's a small country, we are very much connected. So people have always been stressed about their relatives, their friends. Yeah, we live like one village, so we are always concerned of what has happened to our friends, and it affects the puts stress, much stress on us. Yeah.
Okay, Jesse,
Yeah.
what do we have in the chat if people have shared something in relation to their own countries as well? How eco-anxiety is also affecting the lives of young people in their own countries. Maybe just one person can come up or two and say something. Yes, Saina.
Okay, thank you so much, Venancio. I just wanted to add about the stress that eco-anxiety is bringing. I can give example of the situation now. In the past, when the lanes for people knew that they have to plant crops with the first lanes, but now when lanes for people are not even sure whether to plant or they have to wait a bit because they are going to be very sunny after the rains fall. So yeah, seasons have changed and it has really affected, and people are stressed. They really don't know how they like they're not sure whether to plant the seeds or not. So there is stress around that also.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. And what do others say about countries? Tanzania, I see Naomi, you're here. Uh, Oneka, I also see Malik. Anything you can share with us? How are young people being affected as far as these issues are concerned? Yes, Abukari.
Yes,
Yes.
hello.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. With regards to climate anxiety, for instance, in Ghana, where I am currently, the northern part of Ghana, where majority of the population are into farming. It's scary when you talk about the rainfall pattern. Farmers are more than confused as we are at the moment in terms of tracking the rainfall, when the rain is coming, when it's not coming. So it's causing a lot of panic, a lot of anxiety in most farmers. Sometimes they calculate and plant their seed, the rain doesn't come. Sometimes they wait, the rain comes and flood the whole place. They cannot even plow or to plant seed. So it's actually affecting a lot of farmers and the entire community. So climate anxiety, as you said, is rightly hitting a lot of countries and a lot of society, communities in Ghana and across the world.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. And agriculture is the backbone of most of the countries. I should say most of the African countries rely on agriculture to feed their populations. And with the current situation related to climate-related issues, people are afraid. We are afraid. What's going to happen? What are we going to eat tomorrow? What if one day we grow crops and the rains never come at all? What shall be of us? This is a concern, and this is a big issue. And I think in relation to the topic that we were working on yesterday, youth into climate action, I think it's important that we already start doing something about this so that we don't end up in a situation where we literally have nothing to rely on should situations get even worse than it is at the moment. Now, to proceed, we need to look at the role of young people in this, despite all these challenges that we are currently facing. And like I said before, it does not mean that we are weak. It's just the human response to the situations that are happening at the moment. And as young people, there is a part that we have to play in order to build emotional resilience. We said in the last topic, in yesterday's topic, to say we don't have to wait for someone to come and tell us, let's go and plant trees, for example. We don't have to wait for someone to tell us to not dump waste carelessly. Find a way to manage waste. These are the things that we've been learning maybe from our elementary school. And if you have learned, it means you also have the responsibility to teach. If there is someone who needs to know something in relation to this, let them know. Share the information. We have the platforms. We have the social media platforms and other possible platforms, including the community gatherings that sometimes we have an opportunity to. All these platforms, let's make use of them to say, the time is now. We need to start doing something about what is happening around us. Let everyone, if we are to fight climate change holistically, everyone then has to be on board. How do we all get on board? Information is key. Let's share information so that everyone is well aware. Let's talk openly in order to reduce isolation issues. And let's support each other in trying to build strength. Because, like I said, if we are to fight climate change, we have to do it together by taking an action, not just talking about it, by taking an action, even a smaller one. I think Jess stressed a lot on this yesterday's session to say even a small action matters. You don't have to start big, start small, and you shall grow. And you can see that even in this direction, there is also an opportunity to start something for oneself, that which can promote entrepreneurship aspects, that which can make ourselves, that can make us employ ourselves in one way or the other. Other young people are already doing it. And those who would like to start, it's just a matter of getting information. You have this platform right here. You have the opportunity to connect. Okay. Connecting from here means also learning from each other, sharing the ideas, seeing how best we can approach these issues so that by the end of the day, we truly say we are climate actors, climate champions who are ready to take action. When youth care for their mental well-being, they become strong leaders, not weak ones. Okay? And Jesse, you told me one day that you wanted to talk something related to sharing the circles, reflecting on these issues. And maybe you have this platform to share something in relation.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much what has been shared throughout this presentation. Mainly looking at the stories that we hear. I think during Cyclone Freddy, where it was very devastating to be in most of the centers where people were taking refuge, mainly in the schools. You'd see mothers with babies, and it's so cold, it's raining, and we're looking for anyone who has dry clothes, you know. So we had people taking off even their clothes just to keep the babies warm, just to help, just to bring heat. Any form of heat was very important, and anyone who was in those spaces, it's very hard just to recover from something like that, because it was very hard, and you'd see losing lives, babies were dying, you would see people were dying, and some were even dying when we're trying to, to get them from the ground. They were being buried by the debris, and coming from that, it was very devastating. So I know that we have a number of people who have also gone through something like that. We've heard something like that in our homes. We've seen it happen either to our neighbors. We heard it. I feel like this platform is very helpful for us maybe to share something like that. How best did you deal with that? And how best do you think we can even reach out to people? Because I do not think we have spaces that welcome people like that. Maybe if it's them, they go for therapy. But what do we say in this group? What are the issues that we faced? How did we combat them? And how did we come out of such dark places? And as youth, what are the mental issues are we going through when it comes to climate anxiety or anything related to it, and how best are we dealing with that? I think our chats are very open. We can talk about it openly now.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Jess, for that. And please, maybe if someone would like to share directly here, they can actually just raise their hand, and then we'll pick you or share with us on what you think would be the interactive sharing circles that can help in this context to ensure that these climate-related fears that we carry silently, how best can we be able to, what can we do about them? I see, Matthews, you raised your hand. Matthews.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hope you are able to hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah. So this is very interesting discussion, because the issues we're talking about here, they really talk to our realities of what happens in our everyday lives here in Malawi and also in other countries. I just wanted to just highlight and add something. If you look at the people who are much affected about climate-related disasters or climate change, you find that the young people were in a huge population, and knowing that our population has got more years to live on Earth, and also the next generation to come, we are experiencing even much higher stress than maybe other groups of the population. So it is very important for us to really understand and start talking about these issues of climate stress. So one of our role could be, we need to bring out this issue of climate stress. What is it all about? Because it's not there, it's not being talked much. People talk about the little details of what people are experiencing, but calling it stress and looking at how that stress is affecting the young people is something that is missed in most of the discussions, and even it is missed out when policies are being discussed, are being put in place. So I think we need to talk about this topic, various platforms. We need to take these issues into the platforms where they can influence the policies, and also the different programs that have been are put by the governments, and also other organizations who are working on climate-related issues. So it is very important for us young people to advocate for awareness of climate stress. And also I want to say something on mental effects or mental impacts that people experience from the climate stress. I have an experience in the past 2 years when I was working with a certain organization in a certain project, which was building resilience to the people who have been affected by Cyclone Freddy. We realized that many people go there with things maybe to support the victims, But there was one part which was being missed much, which is the psychosocial support. The psychosocial support, which ends up, even if you give those people food and other items, but psychologically you find that they are very much disturbed. So in that project, we included the part of addressing the psychosocial part. We had young people who had different with talents. They had different things to perform in front of the victims, encouraging them, and also, just to connect to what my colleague shared about the sharing circle, we could also have sessions of listening to the stories and the challenges that these victims are experiencing. And after doing these activities, we're able to see that people, even their faces were changing. People could become hopeful, and they could really feel it that they have expressed what is in their hearts, and also they have seen how concerned other people are. So as young people, we need to take psychosocial support activities or action very serious, because many of the people who are being affected are our fellow youths who need our support. So I just wanted to highlight and add these two things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matthews. That was really quite powerful. In fact, when people are in this situation, I mean, these eco-anxiety issues we're discussing here are actually part and parcel of all that people experience during these moments. Do we have anyone else who would like to share, maybe from a different country, anything related to this? Anyone? Okay, Jesse, maybe you can read something from the chat. Jesse, are you here? Okay, so maybe Matthews, can you read?
But I
Okay.
think Matthews can read, because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. The network keeps kicking me out.
Okay, good. Matthews, can you read what is in the chat, please?
Okay, so in the chat we have Oneka, who is saying primary climate-related fears in Kenya are centered on the life-threatening and life-destroying consequences of frequent and intense extreme weather events, particularly prolonged droughts and severe flooding. That's from Oneka. Another. Okay, so Oneka again says climate-related fears in Kenya, Kenya's Rift Valley center on rising lake levels, causing massive displacement, submerging homes, schools, and farms, and threatening ecological disaster as fresh water and saltwater lakes risk merging, disrupting ecosystems, livelihoods, and increasing conflict over shrinking resources, all driven by extreme rainfall linked to climate change. So that's what we have in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much, Matthews. In the interest of time, I'm going to move to the resilience tools that we can so far use in ensuring that we are able to counteract the eco-anxiety issues that we're discussing here. And so far, these issues, when we talk about resilience, we don't want to say we want to ignore the fear No. But now, how do we manage eco-anxiety? Maybe we need to try and look at that, because we're talking about many people being affected, especially the youth, being affected silently with these issues. Now, how do we manage this? So, there are several tools that can be used in this process. People that are really quite conversant with some of these, maybe they can explain better than I can explain them here. But taking simple breathing and grounding can try to reduce stress. I've seen people, when they are quite stressed, they try and sit in some quiet place, okay, relax, take some deep breaths, to try and reduce the stress that one is experiencing in that moment. And for those that are not quite conversant with this, or they are not used to doing this, it's good not to stay in isolation. It's quite important that you try and talk to someone. I mean, as a human, you need to try in one or the other to share your worries, your fears, anything that is really affecting you in that moment, so that, by sharing, it's more or less like taking off one of the problems that you might have, or one of the problems that are affecting you silently. So talking to someone is one of the important tools that we can use to try and bring out those fears that are there silently, or they are not finding a way to come out. Also, we need to take positive climate actions that will try and restore hope, okay? When they say let's go and plant trees, let's go in numbers. If they say let's try and manage our waste, let's do it. You don't just produce waste and wait for others to come and create out for you. It has to start with us, okay? When we start with us, it's very easy for us to be able to say something and people follow, because they know you are already doing something, okay? And maybe they shall have seen the benefits of what you are doing, okay? Also, trying to limit constant exposure to negative news might also be very important. In as far as we want to know, it's good to be to stay updated with information. But if negative news will bring a lot of anxiety in you, then sometimes to try and avoid is also one way of fighting these eco-anxieties, just for the sake of your mental space, okay? And it's very important to stay informed, but in a balanced way, okay? Stay informed, but the key here is to balance the information so that you get that which is necessary and leave out that which is not, okay? Let's ensure community support, okay? So that which reminds us we are not alone. There are people that we are going through these moments with. And resilience grows through small, consistent practices. If we try and practice this, it's going to help us a great deal. Even the next generation, let them see that we were able to do something right now, and they shall be proud of us. Otherwise, it's for me, feels a bit useless that I get worried and I do nothing about it. So it's important that we try and do something about this, so that one day we might be very proud of what we shall have achieved. I shall be putting the link to our post survey so that we can close the session. However, before that, we shall be looking at the role that youth are supposed to play in this whole process. So let's ensure that we support each other, okay? Let's talk to each other. Let's learn from each other. Let's create awareness campaigns. Go to our communities. Share the current information that is there. Encourage people to take action, okay? Let's do advocacy. Let's ensure that out there people have everything they need in as far as information is concerned. People should have everything they need to make sure that together we are able to carry out these actions. Okay, so which resilience tools would help you the most in as far as we've discussed above? You can share that in the comment section. Is it talking to someone? Is it taking an action? Is it doing something in the community? Or is it the control of information so that you stay informed, but you balance in the way that you do those things? Let's please share that in our comment section. So among those solutions that we were sharing before in order to fight anxiety, encouraging our communities to do something about this is also very important, and ensuring that we have government mental health support. In Malawi, that's a bit a challenge. I mean, as young people who are able to see these things happening, let's try and do something about this so that we're able to assist others, especially creating youth-led safe spaces. And this is just one of such spaces that we can make use of to ensure that other young people are able to benefit from this. I shall be sharing the link. And while I share the link, Matthews or Jesse, Jesse, if you still have proper internet, you can share what is in the chat.
In the chat, I think we have, in my opinion, taking action and community. It's what would work best, and that is from Mima. And we have Raleigh, who also thinks taking action is the best way. And also, I suggested that taking action, I think, is the best way. And we have Tuone, who says community and information control. I think it aligns well with what Bukali said, that third part is that negative news or narrative spread like wildfire. So I think with information control, I think it also be very good. And Susan says channel my energy towards taking community action. So I think most parts taking action will be the very best way to deal with the climate stress issues at this point.
All right, thank you so much. I just shared the link to our post survey in the chat section. Please help us fill it so that we know how you feel about this session, and also see how much you have learned from this session, how much difference it has made in your perspective in as far as eco-anxiety issues are concerned in this case. Please help us fill the form as we close the session. I shall be looking at Hope. as we close this session, we need to see how much hope we can create for each other, because we know as it is, things are not okay, and that we have so much that is happening amongst us that is not being spoken. And in addition to those stresses, to those anxieties, we also have other challenges. You never know, maybe those other challenges are coming out of the challenges that are already existing, especially those that are already being affected greatly by the impacts of climate change. So, trust me, if climate anxiety is what you're experiencing, it means you care a lot about your future, and you care a lot about the future of your family, the future of the next generation. But now, resilience means you have to continue. And not just to continue for the sake of continuing, but continuing to ensure that you have a future to make, not just for yourself, but even for those that are not yet born, or those that are very young at the moment. I'm not saying that we have the duty right now to save the planet alone, but that in a coordinated way, in a holistic way, with consolidated actions from everyone, then we will be able to try and save our planet. Let's start with those small actions. Let's try and think about the people that are currently suffering. If it has not yet reached to you, ensure that it does not by taking an action. But if you wait for others to do it, by the time you shall decide to do it, you shall do it because you are now being affected. Okay? So you are expected to care for the earth and for yourself. When youth protect their mental well-being, they also protect the future, because we say the future belongs to the youth. I would like to thank each and everyone for showing up today in this session and for all your thoughts, not just as climate actors, but also as human beings. I would like to say that please stay connected, stay hopeful, and stay resilient. The future belongs to us all. We have the time to make a difference, and it is now. You see, this platform right here is where the magic is happening. I encourage you to share all the links to today's session and the other sessions that we've done so far before. In this way, we'll be able to send messages out there to say it's time for everyone to take action. Let's not just talk about these things. Let's take action. Please continue filling the post-survey form as we will be trying to close the session. Do we have anyone who would like to share something before we close?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. I want to ensure that everyone has filled out the post-survey form. Please do it because it's very important for documentation and everything. Those of us that have not yet done it, please let's do it. The link is in the in the chat. So until next time, I shall be calling this meeting off and wishing you good luck and a good start for actions that we're supposed to take in our various places. Stay blessed and good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.